Welcome back to MurrayMax. We have another video here from the Charlie Kirk Turning Point campus tours with himself and Riley Gaines. We're going to have a new topic that we haven't really discussed today. The context of this one is about immigration, and it's obviously not new for the political debate sphere, but we've been getting a lot of videos that I've been reviewing recently that have to do with the same old issues, whether it be gender or whether it be, the war in Ukraine kind of stuff. But yeah, let's see what we got here. As usual, I haven't watched it yet, so we're going to watch it together. And feel free to like and subscribe and comment in here what you think of the video.
My name is John, Charlie, Riley. I think a common, stereotype about college students, especially nowadays, we're all liberal and don't, know anything. We're all brainwashed, right? It's a common thing that's parroted, right?
Is he going to prove that wrong, or is he going to solidify the stereotype? Let's see.
What I would say is, as someone who just turned 18, goes to the school, and was able to vote the last election, I believe that Trump is not a good option for people like me. Young voters, people of color, who are from immigrant families and want to be able to afford things and want to be able to have a good life. I don't believe that's the right way forward. It's fair that you guys criticize the Democrats, this and that. I don't think that's the right way to go, and I'll tell you why. Trump, just for example, it's a common thing. We don't know why we hate Trump. We're all brainwashed, right? Trump said, and I quote, "Immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country." As of someone who comes from an immigrant mother, immigrant father, how can
illegal?
He said illegal immigrants. Illegal.
Damn, bro, you almost made it more than a minute. That was so close. You almost made it more than a minute before you threw out the idea that there's no difference between legal and illegal. This is the silly game the left plays. So and so is an immigrant, and there's this person's an immigrant, and it's like, yes, illegal. There's a big difference between legal and illegal. If I'm legally driving my car, it's different than if I'm illegally driving my car. It's a kind of an important distinction. But this guy almost made it. He almost made it a whole minute before he solidified the stereotype that they're brainwashed on what they're talking about. But, maybe he just misspoke. We'll give him another chance.
Illegal immigrants. Okay, he said illegal immigrants are poisoning the blood. I know people who are illegal and doing the opposite of that, okay? They're living, you wouldn't even be able to tell. Their immigration isn't on their face.
That's anecdotal, because one thing is for sure. The Federation for American Immigration Reform, they did a report in 2023, and they found that just the burden on the taxpayers, the citizens, by illegal immigration was $181 billion for the year. That's like refunding Ukraine entirely with all the money promised to them every year. But it gets worse. That's what it was in 2023, meaning the numbers came from 2022. And I know some people are going to run to the comments or want to respond with, yeah, but some of these illegals are paying taxes too. Yes, that same report, which the report was done under the Biden administration, funded by the Biden administration's government, found that of that 181 billion tax burden, that just over 30 billion was taxes paid by illegals. Okay, so you're still a net loss for the American taxpayers of $150 billion per year. So it doesn't matter if this guy knows people that do well. Trust me, I'm realistic. I have no doubt. And I know for a fact that there's plenty of hardworking people who come here and they don't commit crimes and they're not a tax burden. They improve their lives, etc., etc. But I also know that those people cut the line for all the people who would do the same, that have been filing all the proper paperwork, that have been submitting all of the fees, that have been waiting patiently in line, that are now delayed even more because of reports like this that show the financial burden. And I'll wrap this up here in a second, but it's like, this is the numbers from 2023, meaning they pulled data from 22 and before. So since then, because the Biden administration had the border wide open with at least 5,000 illegal entries per day, not contacts, estimated illegal entries were in between 5,000 and 15,000 per day. So then if you take this number and you add 3 million plus for 2023 and 3 million plus new people for 2024, an extra 6 million plus people. Those are conservative estimates too, by the way. So the number's only gone up. So, it's kind of like a objectively true issue that it is a burden on the country. And I completely sympathize with people who are fleeing things and they want better lives for themselves. But as the son of somebody who came here and was a non-citizen and had to eventually get their citizenship, I understand there's a right way to do it too. And that's just the way it should be. No one would feel sorry for me if I was illegally in some other country, as an American person, if I was illegally in, Germany or Mexico or wherever it was, and they booted me out because I wasn't supposed to be there or overstayed a visa or whatever. No one would feel sorry for me. They'd say, well, yeah, that's what you get.
And it's not. I think that you using that type of rhetoric is not really beneficial for me. Why would I vote for that? Like, why? Explain to me why I'd vote for that as a young black man who has the ability to vote.
You know what isn't beneficial? What happened to Lake and Riley? I mean, you're conflating the two things. If you're here illegally in this country, you've already broken a law. You are already a criminal. Therefore, you should be sent back.
I mean, okay, that's an immigration thing. I'm still trying to figure out why would I vote for you, because I think even for your case too, your whole kind of thing is trans people, this and that, trans sports. I'm gonna be honest with you, with all due respect, I don't care. I don't watch sports like that. I don't watch
what Riley Gaines says shouldn't sway your vote because you're not voting for Riley Gaines. I mean, the facts are the facts. He wanted to come up here and show that he's not just some uneducated, brainwashed kid. And the first thing he did was fail to even see the distinction between legal and illegal when it comes to immigration. So you've already lost me on that one. And then your next point is going to be everything, of course, is this identity politics. What as a man who's also black and I'm also this. And it's like, how about as an American, what's best for everybody?
I'm in sports, so why would I be like...
Do you hope to have kids one day?
Yeah, but I just don't think that's important to me right now. I'm worried about having money for myself.
What do you worry about?
I worry about cost of living. I think everyone does. If you're a young person, you care about cost of living. I do have a job. So cost of living. We're thinking about paying our college loans. Like I have to pay my college loans. We're thinking about how can we survive? Healthcare and our costs like that. What does Trump do to address that besides be like, we're going to deport people, we're going to put tariffs on, and trans people are bad? Why would I care?
Okay, so you work at, what kind of job do you work at?
Right now, I internship at a tech network type of thing, so it's unpaid, but it's a job.
All right, well, yeah, okay. So have you ever worked a job where you have overtime?
Yeah, I worked at like Taco Bell.
Okay, well, Trump is no longer going to tax overtime at all, so no tax on overtime, which is great. Have you ever been in a job where you get tips? No tax on tips as well. And by the way, I don't have to speculate it. Again, the election's over, so I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's kind of a waste of time. But like, Trump's first term was objectively better for people of what you want than Biden. And you're going to see it this time. You're going to see an amazing economic flourishing happen in the coming years.
I feel like that's kind of like a we'll give it to you eventually type of thing. Like, I just don't see – I don't remember that happening. I was alive 2016, 2020. That wasn't a thing where it was a big like bump.
It was incredible.
Well, what?
But, I mean, look, how old are you? 18? You were 10 years old at the time. So I understand that you weren't as like – I get it. I'm not trying to accuse you. It's just you weren't as aware of economics.
Well, in 2020, I was 15, and that was when the COVID hit, and it wasn't great back then. He was still president, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because we locked down the entire country. I mean, obviously. So,
but when he was the president, though, when COVID hit.
Yes, and
this is going to go nowhere at this point. The major points of this being are that, we have these certain things in place that are supposed to be the rule of law that every country has in place. You can't sneak into any country on earth with very, very few historical exceptions. And usually when there is an exception, it's because the company is so disorganized and has no actual government structure. And it's not the government that's going to punish you. It's going to be, whether it be rebel groups or, factions of what used to be a government, which is going to be even worse than just getting booted and put on a bus or a plane back to where you come from. So, I mean, this guy's talking about he wants a lower cost of living. He's worried about these things. Flooding the country with illegals that overwhelmingly become dependent on the government and the taxpayer is not going to help reduce the cost of living. It's not going to help reduce the cost of healthcare. It's only going to make every one of these problems worse. And people love to play these arguments where, citizens commit more crimes than illegals. Well, yeah, because there's more citizens than there are illegals. But every time an illegal commits a crime, it's a crime that never had to exist in this place on earth in the first place. Because if that person is a criminal and they commit crimes where they come from, that's not an American problem. And I'm not ashamed to say that I want America to come first. Why is it okay for people who live in Mexico to want good things for Mexico? I don't knock that. I say, hey, good for you. I hope you get it. Why is it such a bad thing to say, as an American, I want to take care of America and Americans, but it's turned into, oh, you're a nationalist and you're this and you're that. And it's like, you know who else is a nationalist? All these people that you root on who come here and then they have their big car parades waving the flag of Mexico all over the place. That's a Mexican nationalist. They're just here doing it. And you would think that I was a total piece of shit if I gathered up a bunch of friends and family and went down to Mexico and we're doing big car parades, bashing Mexico and waving American flags. You would think that I was an asshole. And you'd be right. But anyways, let me know in the comments what you think. I'm going to keep making some videos. And let me know in the comments, too, if you have any suggestions of topics or people you want me to cover. Thanks.